they announced Metroid Dread, which is
Yes, that's the highlight for me.
the next mainline Metroid game, closing out the Samus saga since Metroid on the NES, which I thought was really cool.
Waiting for the fifth game in the series for my entire life.
Wasn't this supposed to be a DS game?
Yes, so this game was Metroid Dread was announced in the mid 2000s for DS.
Wow.
And then it just disappeared, and now it's back. And it's a side-scrolling Metroid game. It's the first new side-scrolling Metroid game in forever.
19 years.
19 years, because Samus Returns, which came out in the 3DS, was a remake. So 19 years, you are perpetually followed by these like evil robots in the game. So they have kind of like a nemesis system. So that'll make your progress. But it is entirely a Metroidvania. Going through, getting new items, attaching them, getting down. It looks fantastic. It looks like a Metroid of old. What do you guys think about Metroid Dread? I think that's the big thing to talk about here.
Deb, what do you think?
I'm cautiously optimistic as I grew up with Metroid Fusion. That was my game in an era before I knew that it was the fourth game in a series. Like that was just, I grew up calling it Metroid Fusion. I thought that was the only game. That is one of my favorite games ever of all time. During the lockdown, I was able to get access to it via a roommate, and I beat it in one night. And I looked up and I realized it was 4:30 in the morning.
That's awesome.
That's the kind of game that's the kind of relationship I have with that game. If anyone's ever played that game, there are set piece moments where you are being chased by a big bad guy, kind of like
what this game,
kind of like Dread, I guess, is or what this game is promoting. This idea that you're being followed a lot of the time, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
That being said, we've come a long way in the past 19 years for 2D Metroidvanias. We've seen some really good ones. We've all talked about some very good ones on this show.
Yeah.
Can the fathers of this genre, or mothers, the parents of this genre, keep up with what the kids are making nowadays? Because if you want a really solid game, Metroidvania, Hollow Knight. If you want freaking weird, wacky alien stuff, Axiom Verge. So I kind of think that this game might fall a little flat just because everything else, the children of these games, are so good.
I'm in the same exact boat as you, Ted. Like, I'm stoked for it. I'm not the biggest Metroid fan, but I'm excited that a new Metroid's out, and I do want to play it, and I like Metroidvanias. But I just don't, like, I'm very trying to write, cautiously optimistic is the great way to say it. Like, I'm pretty sure this is not going to be that great of a game. Like, I have that gut feeling of, like, it's going to be a 7 out of 10, which is going to be fine, whatever. But it, like, I just played Hollow Knight this year, like you said, which is, like, one of the great Metroidvanias, and, like, has all this lore hidden beneath it, and so much optional stuff, and it's like Metroid's probably not going to have that depth to it.
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion the blueprint of Metroid Dread is still going to be that DS game from 2006, 5, whenever they were developing it. And we have just done so many cool things with video games since then.
Especially Metroidvanias.
Is this going to feel old or dated on its release date? Because it was conceived so long ago. Like, who knows?
Well, we'll find out this year.
Maybe they'll knock it out of the park. We'll find out.
Yeah.
The gameplay of it it struck me as really interesting. You could melee. There are a whole bunch of really unique Metroidvania-esque tools. But it also didn't strike me at all as scary.
No.
Which, as a 26 going on 27-year-old man, who am I talking about? Oh, this game didn't scare me. But we'll see how it goes. Metroid games have always had a heck of a tone.
I mean, the music and the environment really set the tone. And looking at it really looked, new. Like, kind of reminded me of like one of the newer like Mega Man games. Like kind of like that style. I'm trying to remember which one. It was like the one that was like the off-brand Mega Man game that was
Mighty Number 9.
No, Mighty Number 9. That's what it reminded me of. Like a little bit of that, which is worrying. But I don't know. To me, it's the music. It's kind of like the gameplay enemies. It could be good.
The Nintendo Treehouse that they did after the press conference, they showed actual like gameplay of Metroid Dread, and the environments looked really cool. Like they went into different environments that weren't just the like ship-esque looking room, which I thought was important that they didn't show in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious.
I'm excited.
October is it?
I think it's October. Yes. I didn't write the dates down. I probably should have.